Ask the Expert is brought to you by Auger Hollingsworth Accident and Injury Lawyers.
It's time to Ask the Expert with Auger Hollingsworth. Brenda Hollingsworth is here to take your personal questions on injury law. A reminder that Ask the Expert is for information purposes only. If you have a question for Brenda, you can send it to us at ottawa.morning@ctv.ca or call in live. You can give us a phone call with your question, 613-789-6559, extension 2803, and ottawa.morning@ctv.ca. Okay, we got all the bases covered here. Yep. Brenda Hollingsworth, thank you so much again for coming in. I love it when we do this. There is an example, like actual client that you've had, and
exactly.
we read the example, and then we talk about it, and you know, the particular situation this person was in and how you can move forward legally. Okay,
exactly.
So we've got that first scenario. Okay, and it says, I was riding my bike on the sidewalk because it's a busy road. I came off the sidewalk into the crosswalk intending to cross the street when a driver turned right into me. The police officer said we were both at fault because I was on the sidewalk and I was riding against traffic. I broke several bones and have a concussion. I'm wondering if I have a case, even though the police officer says I might be at fault. Brenda.
Yeah, so the answer is you do, in all likelihood. So we've had this scenario or variations of this scenario many times, and we've always achieved compensation for the client.
Really?
Always. So, going the wrong way on the sidewalk, not ideal as a cyclist.
Sure.
But you always have the right of way over a vehicle, right? And the Highway Traffic Act requires that motorists prove that they weren't at fault if they hit a pedestrian or a cyclist. So they have the onus of proving they weren't at fault. There's no way that a motorist can prove that they weren't at fault if they turn right into a cyclist,
yes.
right, in the crosswalk. Because even if the cyclist wasn't supposed to be doing that in the crosswalk, there could have been someone in the crosswalk. So why didn't you see them? So definitely, if you're in that scenario, don't say, oh, well, it's my fault, I can't get compensation. You definitely want a consultation with a lawyer in that circumstance, 100%.
Okay, Brenda, what do you do in that situation where, okay, well, this person broke several bones, so I'd imagine they were in some pain and may have had to be taken to the hospital.
Yeah.
But what if a collision happens, you're not quite sure, you're a little bit shaken up, do you just, what do? Do you walk away?
Yeah.
Do you take their name? Or
this is a mistake that cyclists make all the time. You have a collision with a motorist, you're shaken up, you're not sure, there's no damage to the vehicle because you're just a little bike, and people go off on their way, and then the cyclist is injured, and what do? You don't have any contact information. So, you know, always get the driver's information. Always get it. And you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And, you know, we have even had clients who've had serious psychological injuries from that kind of accident. And so those aren't going to materialize on the scene. So you really have to look after yourself. Let's normalize exchanging information when the accident is between a vehicle and a bike. You've just got to do it.
you have to do that, exchange that information, accident between a vehicle and a bike. What about getting police involved? Do you need that necessarily?
If there's an injury, you're supposed to get police involved. And if the motorist doesn't want to, like they theoretically could be charged with leaving the scene. Like it's a car accident. And so, yes, you're entitled to have the police come. You know, we do hear from clients that they get pushback. Police don't want to come. And, well, what's the damage to the vehicle? Well, forget about the vehicle. I'm an injured person. But they are supposed to come when there are injuries. So, push.
Yeah. Okay.
Push.
I mean, presumably you'd have your phone with you. Let's say you're on your bike and you unfortunately have this kind of an accident, then you should call police. If there has been a collision, even if you're not quite sure, am I terribly injured or not, it's good to do that because then you can file a report as well.
Well, that's it.
Right.
So you can go to the collision reporting service. When there is evidence that the collision happened, your case goes better.
Ask the Expert is brought to you by Auger Hollingsworth Accident and Injury Lawyers.
If you want to get in touch with Brenda Hollingsworth and Auger Hollingsworth, there's their information on the screen. If you have a legal question for them, info@ahinjurylaw.com, and their phone number is 613-233-4529. Okay, we're going to move on right now to a second scenario with Brenda Hollingsworth. Okay, so here it is. You're cycling on a public bike path and you go over a pothole and fly over your handlebars and break your collarbone. Ouch. Does the government that runs the bike path have legal responsibility to the cyclist? What responsibility does the cyclist have? Does it make a difference if the cyclist is wearing a helmet? Are there accident benefits available? Lots of questions for you, Brenda.
So many questions. Yeah, okay. No, that's a lot. So bottom line, government does have responsibility to maintain those bike paths for the purpose that they're intended. And so, sometimes there are paths that are not maintained and there'll be signage saying use at your own risk. But if you are on a sort of a municipal, or here we have the NCC, a bike path, it needs to be maintained. Every little crack is not going to result in responsibility, but there's going to be a point. A tree root that protrudes through, we've had this, and it absolutely will result in liability. There are simple things that the government can do. They can spray paint that bump so that people can see it. If they don't have the budget to fix it, they can at least warn about it. That will decrease their liability, and it'll make it safer. So yes, they're responsible. It is really important if you fall over something or you trip over something or you get projected over something on your bike that you take a picture of that thing, right? Don't assume it's not going to be fixed after your accident, and don't assume you're going to be able to find it again, right? That happens a lot. Like it was somewhere near a tree that looked like, and then what are we looking at? You have to prove what caused your injury, so that's really important. You do have a responsibility to watch where you're going and watch, what's ahead of you. So you might have some contributory negligence if there's an obvious defect in the path and you didn't notice it, especially, you got your AirPods in or, otherwise distracted. You could have your compensation reduced by a percentage. Helmet. The helmet really can be a red herring. If you break your collarbone and you don't hit your head, helmet's irrelevant. Wear your helmet. But
yeah, of course.
But if the injury is not to your head or something that the helmet would have protected against, nobody can point the finger at you for not wearing a helmet.
So there are accident benefits available.
Well, so here, this is a trick question. There's accident benefits available if you're hit by a car on a bike, but not here. Okay. So here, the only short-term benefits you've got are benefits that you have through your employer or OHIP. So this can be a real hardship for people.
It's been so great talking to you. Brenda Hollingsworth from Auger Hollingsworth with those different scenarios and breaking it down. But in other words, you need to protect yourself. If you're in an accident, you get the information of the driver. If that's the case, take pictures and really protect yourself, and then you can seek some legal advice.
Right. We're happy to help.
Thank you very much for coming by here, Brenda. And that's Brenda Hollingsworth again from Auger Hollingsworth. If you want to get in touch, 613-233-4529.